Welcome to the Quarantine Sessions. When we started this project, we were only concerned with telling stories about the coronavirus and that crisis, but the events of the past month have reminded us that there are many crises in this country and many more voices that we need to be hearing from. Today's story comes from Amber Hurst Martin. It's about systemic racism, but in a way that we sometimes overlook. The way a racist system not only polices bodies, but also can police the very dreams one is allowed to have. Here's Amber.
So you've heard of Stockholm Syndrome, the phenomenon where victims feel sympathy, empathy, and sometimes even love for their abusers. Hi, my name is Amber Hurst Martin, and I'm in love with musical theater. It started off real dreamy. Honestly, my whole childhood was pretty dreamy. An illusion my mother worked hard to maintain. It was just the two of us in our old drafty house in Cleveland. And every night, after a long day of school and work, we would come home, slip into our warmest pajamas. I had one of those striped one-piece footed rompers with the butt flap, and we would escape into the magical world of movie musicals. We went way back. So like on any given night, it could be Gold Diggers of 1933, starring Ginger Rogers, and her gang of broke-ass chorus girls are draped in gold coins, singing about how they no longer need to dodge their landlords because now the money is rolling in. I watched dazzled, my face so close to our old VCR that I could taste the breadline and the chorus line. I'll do that when I grow up. I thought, I'll be perfect for that. A song and dance gal. Or on another night, it might be my mom's famous tuna casserole and A Date with Judy, 1948, starring Elizabeth Taylor and Jane Powell. Maybe I'll be more like her. Classic, legit, the ingenue, like Doris Day. Yeah, because I'm classy as hell. I was already envisioning my dressing room. White upholstery, white orchids everywhere, all white everything. Little did I know. Okay, so it's the spring musical my junior year of high school, The Wizard of Oz. My audition went great. And then I saw the cast list. And the shock on my face must have read, because Mrs. Schutze, our drama teacher, pulls me aside and she says, "Well, Amber, you were the best, sweetie, and I was gonna cast you, but you just don't look like Dorothy." Not being at play practice gave me extra time to devote to my favorite pastime, watching old movie musicals. And I ran into another Dorothy, and this one looked like me. Carmen Jones, 1954. The first time I saw that movie, it took my breath away. A beautiful, colorful cast, moving in a way that was so rhythmic. I was enthralled. And this musical had something I never knew could exist, an all-black cast. It was incredible. Everybody was so on beat. And there, right in the center of it all, was Dorothy Dandridge, being free, wearing an off-the-shoulder top, and dominating the hell out of every man around her. I looked up on that screen and I saw a woman who looked like me. My same hair, my same skin, my same ashy knees. She was even from Cleveland like me. Ew. And this all-black cast was singing opera. I could do that. I realized I just needed to train. I just needed to get better. And then I'd be wearing an off-the-shoulder top of my own on stage in no time. Take that, Mrs. Schutze. So when the time came, off I went to college in Manhattan, where I was classically trained in vocal performance and music theory and sang operatic arias, the whole nine. Si, 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 no te vogliam passar. Si, 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 si. It felt good. It felt right. I was a lyric soprano on her way to the Great White Way. So I started auditioning. Ah, the Midtown cattle call. Throw a dress, 4 pairs of shoes, 2 pairs of tights, a leotard, a curling iron, a makeup bag, a 20-pound music binder, an umbrella, a full bottle of honey into a bag that is now bigger than you, hop on a packed A train to 34th Street at the crack of dawn, only to be told when you get there, Dreamgirls, it's down the hall. Oh, you're here for My Fair Lady? We aren't seeing people for the maids until tomorrow. I was there to audition for Eliza Doolittle, my dream role. But Eliza can't be played by a Black woman. I quickly realized it wasn't just Eliza that was out of my league. I just didn't get cast as the ingenue, that wide-eyed, naive love interest with the high soprano. Nope. Stay in your lane. Know your type and nail it. Can you belt it? Yes. Use that head, girl. More neck. You know what I'm talking about. More sass, more urban. The dreams I had, the illusions, all began to crumble. I realized that they were never going to choose me. They were never going to see all those girls in me the way I had seen myself in them all those years ago sitting on the floor in that romper. They were never going to know that all I wanted was a room somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere that's green. And I realized if they weren't going to make space for me, how was I ever going to get all of these girls out of me? And what was the point in even being in New York if I couldn't? So I left. And then, out of the blue, someone reaches out to me about writing a piece for a women's creative festival. And I was shocked. Like me, right after a little push from a few loved ones, I sat down one morning and I began to write what would become my solo show, Cambaret. And it just came pouring out of me. My life story, my hopes, my woes, and all my favorite songs. I cast myself in all of my dream roles, minus the boring bits, and I even got to add a few other singers that I loved, like Alanis and Dinah Washington. While I was researching for the show, I came across a few stories. It turns out I wasn't the first Black soprano to be put in her place. Ella Fitzgerald was once arrested in Dallas before she even went out on stage, just for being Black. She was just sitting in the janitor's closet they had given her as a dressing room when the police came in and took her to jail. And when they got there, one of the officers had the audacity to ask her for her autograph. After I found that out, I kept going. Whatever became of Queen Dorothy Dandridge, the star of Carmen Jones who had started me on this whole journey? She was chewed up and spat out by Hollywood. Remember that time in Vegas where they drained a swimming pool because she deigned to dip her royal toe in it? After they forced her into an abortion that she didn't want to have and swindled her out of all of the money that she had earned, they left her to die, penniless and alone, of an overdose. Ella, Dorothy, Billy, Dinah, more. Why do it? Why keep performing in honky-tonks all along the Jim Crow circuit, making millions of dollars for places where you weren't even allowed to use the bathroom? Because they had to get their songs out. And so do I. Performing my solo show feels like coming home. Home to my childhood living room, with that little brown girl sitting on the floor singing along with Liza. And it fortifies me for the cattle calls. It's like my war paint. Oh yeah, I'm still going to those. Still auditioning for roles that haven't traditionally been played by someone who looks like me. I insist. I sing for those who came before me, who endured so much so I could sit here and say, yeah, I'm a singer and I write a little and I'm a pretty good actress. This crown has been bought and paid for dearly. They never gave up, so how can I? I choose the dream.